This morning, I got a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I texted you this morning at like 8 o'clock,
Yep.
and you didn't reply until like noon.
Yep.
What'd you do all day? Were you
I
sleeping?
slept.
How do you do that?
I told you I went to bed at 2 a.m. But not even 2 a.m. It was probably like 3 something.
Yeah,
Um, and then I woke up.
just like that.
To be fair, I woke up at like probably like I woke up at 9. I set
Mm.
an alarm for 9 a.m. Woke up at 9, took the dogs out, fed them, went back to bed. Woke back up at like 11:30 or whatever. I texted you.
So what was crazy to me is like, I woke up, I had time to text you, do my homework, um, let my dogs out, cook breakfast, and I was about to start my walk, but I wanted to make sure that before I started my walk that you weren't gonna be here, right?
Uh huh.
Because I didn't want to be like on the middle of the walk at 11:30, and then
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh, let's start at 11:30, yada yada yada. But I had time to do all of that before you woke up, and it got me thinking like, I hate people like you. Not like, but like in a sense of like, I can't physically do it. You know what I mean? Like I have
Yeah.
to start my morning like early. Stay up early, or I go to bed late, and wake up early, because I'm just like, there's so much in the day that I could be doing. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like that, but the exact opposite because I stay up late, super late, because I'm like, man, I'm not gonna. I especially do that on like the weekdays. And I'm like, man, I feel like I didn't have enough time in the day, so I'm gonna stay up late and do everything I wanted to do while I was, working.
Yeah, I can understand
there's
that.
a whole psychological term for that, but yeah,
Okay, that flies back,
it's the
but
bane of this podcast.
it is. It's gonna be the number one enemy. It's gonna go on a T-shirt. I'm gonna put that fly on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk to you. Like, what got me thinking about like, because the whole like. No, I'm not saying you were tardy or anything like that, because
Yeah.
we do this on our own time and whenever we
Yeah.
can, right?
And I
So
told you too. I showed up at 1:58. So
I believe you. I was inside. I don't know.
I know. I showed up and I asked your daughters. I was like, "Where's your dad?" And then they just
Ignored you probably.
yeah.
Yeah, which sounds right. Right. So we don't have a tardiness thing, or a tardiness. How do I say this without sounding like so weird? Like a policy, because
Yeah.
we show up. We literally do this whenever we can.
Yeah.
Right. But it got me thinking, like with like not showing up and tardiness and like being late, of
Yeah.
like the story of like Tonton the Haitian boogeyman, right?
Uh huh.
Which is called Tonton Macoute. I think, if I'm saying that
Tonton
correctly.
Macoute.
Tonton Macoute. So it's like Uncle Gunnysack. Basically, like the premise of, um, I'll give you the folklore version of it, and then I'll
Uh
give you
huh.
like the real life version of it. Okay,
All right.
but the folklore version of it is like Uncle Gunnysack, Tonton Macoute. But basically, what happened was Tonton Macoute was a group was uh, Papa Doc. Does that sound
Oh
familiar?
yeah, like
So
the
yeah,
voodoo, like yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So what he would do is they would go around, and they would basically, um, what they wanted. So originally, Papa Doc wanted all these people to think that these Tonton Macoutes had like supernatural powers, right, and that they were protected by voodoo. And
Mm-hmm.
while this could be true, this could not be true, right? But it's Papa Doc, so it's probably true,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to like Haitian and voodoo and stuff like that. It's not
Yeah.
outside of the realm of possibilities. But what he would do is he would go around, in the middle of the night, basically stuffing people, men, women, children, into these giant sacks. And it was believed that like Tonton Macoute was like an old man who kidnapped. Oh wow, I'm getting two different stories mixed up. Tonton Macoute was the Haitian version of the boogeyman, right?
Uh
He
huh.
was an old man who kidnapped children in the middle of the night, and then basically stuffed them into sacks to carry them away forever, right? That's the folklore version of Uncle Gunnysack, okay?
Okay.
Um, I'm going to probably interchange the names a lot, right?
Yeah.
But it just depends on whatever I feel like saying.
It sounds like you know who Krampus is.
Krampus?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like sounds like what he
it
does.
is basically
Stuffs
Krampus.
him in his sack and then he drowns him in the river.
Yeah.
Is that? I guess continue your story because I want to
But
hear.
with this, you never knew what happened with the kids. However, in the real life version of this, right? Papa
Mm-hmm.
Doc basically like named his militia, um, uh, Tonton Macoute, right? And he basically wanted people to fear his militia as if they were also supernatural beings. And so what he would do is he would basically saying like, oh, all of the Tonton Macoute looked the same. They wore like dark glasses, they had denim t-shirts, straw hats, and carried machetes and guns. And then he would tell them like, oh, these people can't be harmed from by anything. So like bullets can't kill them. They're on, you know, these are monsters, these are regular people.
Uh-huh.
But like it was regular people who were protected by voodoo. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I talked to my mom the other day because I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this podcast on like Tonton Macoute and what else can I tell about Tonton Macoute that is gonna basically do this. And my mom was telling me like for Tonton Macoute, like they just grabbed untrained people and doused them in voodoo basically,
Ah.
and then told them that their souls
They're like,
belong to
yeah. Okay.
them, and then would send them out to go do all these kidnappings and stuff like that.
Damn. And like told them that they're like invincible and stuff,
Yep.
basically.
Yeah, basically told them that they were invincible. And granted, like they were practically invincible because during that militia they took out 60,000 people. You know what I mean? Like from Haiti. So like took out as in, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
unalived.
Yeah. I got you.
You know, mass murder. Genocide, if you would. But it was one of those things where it's like, oh man, this is a folklore story, right? The Haitian boogeyman mixed with a little bit of truth.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like the story my mom told me about like Tonton Macoute was like me growing up was that if I don't like when I go to bed, I need to make sure my closet's closed. I need to make sure that my windows are closed. You know what I mean? And I need to make sure that I sleep with my door closed. I should never sleep with my door open. Because if I do, that is the same as me inviting in Tonton Macoute. And if I invite him in, since I'm a kid, he's just gonna stuff me in his sack and take me to his lair. Nobody knows what they do with the kids, but what we do know is that they never end up they found again. So
Damn.
yeah, so
Wait, so so you said that there's like a blend between folklore and real life,
mhm.
right? And so basically the folklore stemmed from them being like, hey, we're gonna send all these people out there like the boogeymen. They're gonna do all these kidnappings. And who benefited from that? Like what's
The army, the
just
the
the
politicians. You know
militia,
what I mean? Like if you have a bunch of people and you were like, hey, I'm gonna send out a bunch of monsters to take the people away who are not listening or following the law, like it's like, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna fight back because you're gonna be like, whoa, those guys just walked in here and took him. You know what I mean? That's a scary feat all on its own. That flight keeps coming back, and I just want it to land.
It's like a TIE fighter, man.
Um, but that was basically like one of the many stories about voodoo that my mom has like told me about, right? Like I called her and we also talked about like our uncles and how our uncles are all obsessed with voodoo. Before her uncles were all obsessed with voodoo. Everybody was doing voodoo. She could tell you stories about how they went under the sea. That's where Lucifer lives. And so fun fact, Haitian lore: under the sea doesn't necessarily mean under the water. Under the sea means under the water,
Like below sea level, like, or I guess I see what you mean, like underneath.
So so there's us, there's the sea, and then under the sea is where Lucifer lives,
Right.
and that's where everybody goes to practice voodoo.
I see.
So my mom's uncle, in the middle of the night, would go out, swim to the bottom of the ocean, and then surface where Lucifer's at, practice voodoo, and then swim back.
Interesting.
Yeah. And you know, my mom's telling me the story.
Yeah.
So she's telling it. It's true.
It's true. Yeah.
You know?
This is what I was going to ask about. Because I watched a video on this person who practices voodoo in New Orleans right now. And he was talking about how in voodoo culture, like, or I guess just in the voodoo practice rather, that there's no such thing as like curses or like basically like evil voodoo. What what is like your experience with that? Like what do you know about the voodoo
All voodoo is
religion?
evil. All voodoo is evil. So there can't be like a no such thing as evil voodoo. It's like using demon magic, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not demon magic, it's just magic. But if it's blood magic, you know what I mean, then it's evil magic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like that, where like with voodoo there is no good voodoo, you know what I mean? It's all you're sacrificing. Like, from what I know about voodoo, voodoo is like how do I say this, a take magic, where I need to take something from myself and give it.
It's like The Witcher, like how The Witcher magic works,
How does that work?
where it's like you can't produce magic without taking something. So like the did you watch the Witcher series?
Yeah, I did, except for like
Yeah.
season 4.
So like in the Witcher series, when Yennefer she like has like she's training to be like a witch or whatever
Okay.
she is, sorceress, and they have like the flower, and then they can produce magic, but the flower dies as they're producing the magic.
Oh,
Is it like that?
something like that, yeah, except you're like giving away your soul. Like,
Okay.
every time I, like, let's say I was practicing voodoo, anytime
Uh,
I'm practicing voodoo, I'm telling like Satan that I'm giving him a portion of my soul until he has the full thing.
mm,
You know what I mean? So as long as I'm alive, you know what I mean, my soul's
yeah,
slowly being drained into hell. And that's what like voodoo is. And
I
that's
see.
why, they would go practice voodoo in the underworld.
I see. Okay.
So,
Because yeah, he was the way I was seeing it from that person was he was stating that voodoo is just a religion basically, and
is he
that
white?
they have no,
Oh,
yeah, this is a black guy from New Orleans,
eh.
and he said that this was like in his family for however many generations, and because I know that there was also the Native Americans in that area influence, so maybe it's specifically like New Orleans voodoo. I don't know if that's like a difference in it, but he was talking about how like there's things that they would do for like protection, there's things that they would do to like be more successful or whatever, but there is no such thing as putting a voodoo curse on someone or like using a voodoo doll, or because he was saying that specifically, so with the voodoo doll, that the doctors of the time would make a doll of a person and they would put a pin where that person was feeling like an ailment. So like say they had a headache and they would put a pin on the head of that voodoo doll, and after they treated them and they saw them again, they would ask, hey, is your headache gone? And if they said no, they'd keep the pin there and they would try something else with their treatment, and then if it did treat it, then they would take the pin out. I don't know if you ever heard about that.
No, I've never heard about that.
So I don't know what's I haven't done any research into it,
So,
but
to use voodoo is, right, to like borrow power from like a sacred deity. You
yeah.
know what I mean? That's how magic like works, right?
Okay.
So you're borrowing someone else's power, right?
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, right, like using Christianity as an example, you can't borrow God's power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you ask for it, right?
Right.
So with voodoo being the ability to borrow power is
Mm-hmm.
like where it becomes in, like, you're not borrowing God's power, you're siphoning Satan's. And if you're siphoning or you're borrowing Satan's, that makes what you're doing an evil act. You know what I
I
mean?
see. Okay. Yeah, I see.
Other than like,
Sorry if you guys hear a saw in the background.
I think it should be like cut out a little bit because there's um
I feel
muted.
like our mics are pretty decent, so
Yeah,
maybe yeah.
maybe
But
they
just in
can't hear it.
case.
Like, da-da-da-da-da. This is their definition for voodoo. Da-da-da. Refers to the communication with spirits in the unseen world. That's what voodoo means.
Okay.
Okay, so that would basically mean that it, like, in the sense of not all voodoo is evil, it basically be like, oh, what these people in the Bible, like Joseph, parting the Red Sea, was doing, that was considered like a form of voodoo, right? Which isn't necessarily true, because in the Bible he's not splitting the sea, he's asking for the sea to be
Yeah.
split. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
during the fucking dude, why does it keep coming back? It like does a lap.
That fly is on a t-shirt. He's gonna be on a
It's
t-shirt.
gotta be on a t-shirt.
Charge it up. Oh,
Yeah.
you ever been shocked with one of those things?
Nope.
It
Does it hurt?
sucks. Yeah,
Oh.
not as bad as a taser, but
What were we talking about? We were talking about voodoo, and we were
yeah,
talking about spirit deities and stuff like that, and on the unseen world. Speaking of the unseen world, there was a story that my mom shared with me that I really wanted to share. Right, so her uncle, right, the evil man that she was talking about.
yeah,
Um, there was this time where my mom was going into the city because my mom, I told you she lived in the country. She was going
yeah.
into the city with her cousins, and my mom's mother, my grandma, basically told my mom, hey, when you go to see your uncle, make sure that one, if he tries to talk to you at night, not to respond to him, okay? And if you see anything that happens, don't see, you did not see anything that happens, just ignore it, okay? If he talks to you, just pretend like you're sleeping, okay? And my mom was like, oh, okay, blah blah blah. So my uncle goes allegedly, okay? So
Uh-huh.
my uncle, not my uncle, my mom's uncle,
Okay, yeah,
I'm just call him uncle,
yeah.
okay,
That's
make
fine.
make this
Yeah.
easy,
So
okay?
your great uncle,
My
right?
great
So
uncle, yeah.
yeah,
So my uncle basically went over to the ocean, did his practice his voodoo, and came back in the middle of the night. Okay, as he comes back in the middle of the night, he summoned like a large like burst of fire, and as he summoned that burst of fire, he just walked through the door. Right, so he didn't like knock, open any doors or anything like that. He allegedly walked through the door.
like
My,
phase through it.
yeah, my mom saw him do all of this, and she says, I don't know how he got inside, but he could have turned into any animal and just phased through the door. He could have been a cockroach, something like that, and just ended up in the house. But there, I do remember that like burst of fire, and then him just walking through the house into the house. And so as soon as I saw him, I instantly turned around and went to bed. There was some food on the table, so we left the food on the table for him, and so he had something to eat when he came back. So he goes and he eats, and then he comes over to my mom and starts talking to her. He says, "Hey, are you awake? Just wanted to check in on you, make sure everything's okay." My mom doesn't respond. Then he goes, "Hey, I know you're awake. I just wanted to see if you needed anything." My mom doesn't respond. So he goes, "Hey, I know you're lying. I know you saw what happened.
Fuck.
So so turn around and stop being a liar." Mom doesn't move. He goes, "Hey, you are your mother's child. You know, you are your mother's child. Just respond to me because I know you're awake." You know, and my mom still
Yeah.
doesn't say anything. And then he goes, "Hey, you know, there's still food left over. You can have some of the food if you want it." You know, and mom doesn't respond. And he goes, "Hey, you know, you are a liar. You know, I know you are lying. I know you're awake. You are your mother's daughter. Blah blah blah. All this stuff." And my mom again just kept pretending to sleep. My mom wakes up in the morning, goes to the city, comes back home, tells my mom about this, and my mom's mother, my grandmother, goes, "Yeah, I know your uncle was an evil. I know your uncle's an evil man. I know he practices voodoo. I knew he was an evil man, and I knew why or not to respond while he sent you that. Because if you would have responded, he would have killed you." You know
Jeez.
what I mean? And so my mom was, I think, 13 at the time. And so, like, there is a story like that, like, from my mom, basically, her mom telling her that her brother, the one that my mom allegedly tried, that, you know, her uncle
Yeah.
would have killed her if he can. This same uncle is the same uncle that basically tried to eat my mom's firstborn, but not my mom's, my uncle, my grandma's firstborn child, so my uncle, right?
Oh.
So she tried to eat the firstborn son, or he tried to eat the firstborn son, but my grandma stood her ground and basically said, like, if you want to eat him, you have to come in and do it. You know what I mean? Like basically
Yeah.
like challenging him. You know what I mean? Basically like, oh, I'm not gonna, like, with the blood of, you know, she's very Catholic, so she's like,
Yeah.
with the blood of Christ, I will not let you eat my child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's basically what took them off of speaking terms.
Oh, that's
But they
crazy.
still spoke, but like not.
Have you ever met him?
No, because he passed away because of the voodoo.
Uh,
Yeah, so he was practicing, and again, like I was telling you, like as the more you practice, the more it siphons from your soul.
Hmm.
So he died way before I was born because he was practicing every day. So it just ate up all his soul, and then to the point where he was basically found, like as if he was. My mom says he was a pretty big guy, and he was just found drained of all life.
Jeez.
So
Well, so what was he gaining from practicing voodoo? Like, what was like? Was he rich, or like was he like getting like what was his like
I
reasons for
I don't
that?
think he was rich by any means, but I think he was full. You know what I mean? And I think that's what he was probably getting from it was like being fed.
Oh, okay, I
You know what I
see.
mean? So he was powerful, right? And he was
Yeah.
also fed, so he was had plenty of food. Oh, if I remember correctly, this uncle you oh sorry, yeah, good thing you asked because now, yeah, so my mom told me that the same uncle was the uncle who also tried to kill his siblings, and he successfully succeeded in killing his mom and dad because he wanted their plot of land, right? Like they had
Oh,
acres and the farmland, and he wanted that, and so he killed them, got away with it thanks to voodoo, and then tried to kill my mom's mother and his other sibling as well. So he would be the only one entitled to that farmland when they
jeez.
passed. And so what ended up happening was my mom's mother just parted with the land, didn't want anything to do with it. So
Uh
that's the
huh.
only reason that she was spared. And I don't know what happened to my mother's other uncle or sister, but because she didn't mention it, but
Yeah.
it was one of those, hey, my mom was going to die if she did not say I
Yeah.
didn't want that land. If she said she wanted the land or a portion of it, she would have been like erased. She
Killed.
would have put on a t-shirt. So
Just like that fly over you here in a little bit,
hopefully.
wherever he's at. That's crazy though. So he. Do you know how long ago it was he died?
No, I don't. I think it was like it had to have been early 90s. It's behind you. Every time it goes over here at least, but it had to have been like early 90s, 85. My mom was born in 73. So
Okay.
she's I'm gonna be ready now. Like as soon as I see it, I'm just gonna.
On site.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to hold this all day, but if I do, it's like when I don't hold it, it's whatever. It's one fly,
It like freaking knows when we have the tools.
but they also used apparently like the same voodoo magic to kind of mimic mermaids, right? So they would like
Mm-hmm.
use voodoo to go underwater to breathe for a long time, so they can get under the sea. You know what I mean?
I
And
see.
then
Yeah.
take that so they can practice voodoo, and then they would take that travel all the way back. My mom used to talk to me about how her uncles also like practiced using voodoo and would like swim to Cuba. You know what I mean?
To Cuba.
Yeah, to Cuba. They would swim all the way to Cuba, casually.
How far is that? Like, how many miles do you
I
think it
don't
is?
know, like over 500,
Damn.
right? How far is it from Cuba? This is a good question now. 50 miles.
50 miles.
Yep.
That's quite a swim.
Yeah.
I could probably do that.
50 miles just straight back and forth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
That's
crazy.
a crazy swim.
Yeah.
And to do that in the middle of the ocean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Are they so? From what it sounds like, and it implies that like voodoo takes place mostly at night, right? Like,
yep.
is it okay? So is that like a big component of it then?
That is, I don't think that's the nighttime has anything to do with the component of voodoo
But it's
per
like the
se.
secrecy of it, right?
Yeah, the
Like,
secrecy of it.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, how else can you light your fires? Do your little dances.
Yeah.
Summon the demons and all that kind of stuff.
Because I was thinking, I was like, man, like late at night, you see like someone like a mermaid flipping through the ocean. How fast they? I was like, how fast do they guys swim?
You see a mermaid flipping through the ocean?
Yeah.
I don't know, but there's been like some times where I've like, not to get on the topic of mermaids. It's like going to be another topic for another day. But like, I've seen like those boats in the middle of the ocean where they're like have something like riding next to them.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And then like assume it's a mermaid because it's going as fast as the boat
Yeah.
or whatever. And I've always wondered like there has to be a difference between sirens and mermaids, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can't possibly be the same because if they were the same, that would if you're seeing something like that flying next to the boat and it's a siren, you're jumping off the boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if it's a mermaid, like
I feel like sometimes it's synonymous, but like it's also like I guess depends on how you're looking at it or what story you're looking at. Because I'm thinking about like Little Mermaid mermaids
mm-hmm.
versus like Harry Potter mermaids.
Oh yeah. Back to like voodoo and stuff like that. So some people could say that like voodoo's real. Some people say that voodoo's not, right? But like the whole like conspiracy theory is that voodoo was basically used to weaponize the militia and basically make it so that they were more feared. Because obviously this was in a time where like electronics didn't exist or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So it would just sit there and it'd be like voodoo's real and who's gonna tell you it's not? You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I get, that makes a lot of sense. Especially, I was gonna say that it's kind of crazy to think about like it's crazy to think about like how influenced people have been like in the past, and it makes sense because you don't think about like all the scientific like progress we've made since like up until now, because people would think like, oh, like he's coughing, he's got a ghost inside of him. Mm-hmm. Let's let out his blood, like, you know, like oh, yeah. Let's bleed him dry and then the ghost will come out. So it's like not that I don't believe in like, you know, things like this that you're talking about, but it's also like how fast that misinformation could spread if it was like, especially if it was to benefit a militia and be like, yeah, like I saw this guy who swam to Cuba and now he's going to kidnap your kid and you can't do anything because he's bulletproof, you know, like I would be scared. Yeah, I'd be like, okay, well, yeah, like I didn't see it, but this person said he saw it and I have no reason to believe it's not true.
Yeah, especially back then. But like at the same time, it's kind of like one of those, like, you don't have to believe everything that you hear, right? Like, yeah, it's obviously one of the things. But if you are watching let's say your brother, right? You watch your brother and these men just jump his ass and stuff him in a sack and just throw him in the back of a truck and drive away. You're like, who the fuck were those people? And how are they like your brother shot at them, yeah, and all 6 of them are still alive? Yeah. Like, is there a possibility that he could have missed every single shot because he was
stormtrooper style?
Yeah, you know, or scared or whatever. Yeah, 100%. But like, yeah, to watch that happen and then be like, I don't know how none of them were injured is kind of scary. And the thing about like the Tonton Macoutes that make it like so much more believable than like vampires and like gargoyles and stuff like that, yeah, is that the Macoutes were like people that you know. Right. You know what I mean? They're regular people. So it's be like, one day this is me, right? I'm just Justin and we're talking and having this podcast, and then the next thing we know, I'm stuffing Theo in a bag
and just running off.
Yeah, just running off, and you're just like, that's Justin. Yeah. I know that guy. You know what I mean? And he's doing this evil thing now.
Are they? So would these people kill the people they kidnapped?
Or like reportedly there were 60,000 deaths. So like, yeah, they killed the people that they kidnapped. Mm-hmm. But it was like,
or were they like kidnapping and turning them into the?
That's also could have been a possibility. You don't know because they're taking so many people. Yeah, it's like, I don't know what's his name, Attila the Hun. Yeah, except without maybe without the rape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was also thinking, I was like, it could be such a like, I don't want to say good, but a good way to bleed into that like mass hysteria. And if you have these people that you're, because I'm assuming they force these people to become the Macoutes, right? Yep. So if you're giving these people like you're not giving them a choice, they're doing these things for you, one of them is injured and dies, like you're just replacing it with the next person, right? But to the people watching, they're probably like, wow, these people are invincible. Like,
Yeah.
because like they're like, oh, like I saw this person get shot and they all left, but it could be just a random person the next time. That's kind of crazy to think about. Like, I would be scared.
Well,
Like,
yeah, they're all
thinking about
dressed
it.
the same too. So I
Yeah.
mean, like, you can't be like, I knew that was the person,
Yeah.
because like they could have just easily buried said other person. I wish this fly was dead. I swear, I'm trying so hard to focus. But
It goes like right next to my eye, and I'm like, oh shit.
I'm trying so hard to focus so we can make this podcast, but I can't. Here, let's get rid of it really quick.
Yeah. Wait, we did get off topic there.
Yeah, back to
bit.
voodoo.
This just in: does Chris Brown use voodoo to still stay famous?
That's a good question. Like, what
I mean,
celebrities
we just
probably
cracked
are
the
using
case.
voodoo.
On Myth Information today, we cracked the case. Chris Brown is using voodoo.
I honestly probably would believe it, because how can you stay rich after what you've done? But I mean, at the same time, he has had his apology videos, and maybe people have forgiven him and stuff like that. But like, how many times do you forgive someone for that? And how does it take you until now to make that apology video? Because I remember seeing. I don't want to talk about it. Because what if we get to that spot where Chris Brown is actually watching our videos? Okay, because if he does start watching our videos, so we have this stuff to say about him, and then he's like, "Oh, hey, let me get on your podcast."
Just let you know, Chris Brown will tour with you.
I'll tour. Don't tell. Andy's gonna fight.
I want. Yeah, I don't know. You have a point though. I mean, if he's using voodoo, man.
So I don't know if I explained everything about the Macouts. If you had any questions about that, but like the whole gist of the story was basically to say that the boogeyman's story started from the Macouts, and it started from them kidnapping, executing, and doing all those stuff to like their people, to the point where like the Haitians started telling their kids like, hey, if you keep messing up, he's gonna come for you next. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As sad as that is, that's really interesting, because I obviously had no idea about that. Especially because to think about how scared people would have been during that, and how they were powerless, because it's also, you're dealing with one, a militia, and you're dealing with two, a supernatural militia, quote unquote. That's
and it happened in like crazy. 1959, right? So it's like, is right there in your face. Like,
when your grandparents.
Your mom was born. So it's like if her grandparents told her this story based on what they saw.
Yeah,
we messed up.
That's wild.
You know what I mean? Like, these people actually existed. It's like, I feel like that's somehow like.
You said your mom was born. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
73.
Your mom was born in 73.
Yeah, 71.
71.
1971.
How old's your mom?
What year is it?
26.
So she's like 55.
I'm trying to think. My mom. Well, no, because my mom's like 60 something.
Yeah. Old parents.
You got a young mom.
Thank you. I guess, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to moms.
Yeah, shout out to mom. You're not old, mom, if you're listening to this, but.
Oh, do you think your mom's gonna listen to our podcast?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think she would. She falls asleep during movies, so I don't think she would.
I don't know.
Sit through almost an hour of talking.
That's also pretty true. Who knows? I'm sweating.
Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah, I wish I had my button. It's probably over there somewhere. I have to finish cleaning out my garage.
You don't have a phone app for your?
Not for that. I don't think that's smart.
Rip. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Anyways, back to the Macouties. I don't know how it's said, honestly, because I talked because my mom's Haitian, right?
Yeah.
And so she'll tell me something, and then I'll see the word the way it's spelled, and my American brain will try to say it in like English.
Yeah.
And then I'm also trying to listen to what she's saying, so they just kind of like bounce off each other.
Yeah.
To the point where I forget how she said it. Yeah. So like, I'll be like, Mom, what do you know about the Macouts? And she'll be like, oh, the Macouts. This is who the Macouts were. This is what they did. Yada yada yada. And then I'll read it, and I'll be like, the Macouties. How do you say the word again? You know.
I see. Yeah. Well, because I also see like if it's spelled like, how is it spelled? Like
M-O.
Is it K-U-T-E?
no, C. So Macoute.
Okay, yeah, I can see how it's being said both ways because I think about like Macoute if it's accented like that, and then Macuti with the e accented. So yeah, it reminds me of like another off-topic thing, but the Guamanian version of tortillas.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up saying tatitas, like with a Z sound, tatitas, right? But it's spelled tatillas, Tatyas,
Okay.
and all of my cousins say tatillas.
Maybe that has something to do with like the way you grew up and the way you say things.
Yeah,
Like,
because then I think I'm gonna ask my dad and I'll be like, how do you say it? Because I feel like he's gonna say tatillas, and I was lied to my whole life, and my whole life is a lie.
they knew what you were talking about at the very least, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So there is that.
that's true. Well, because I found out because I went to there's a Guamanian place in Vegas that I went to with my cousin when she came to visit me when I was living there, and I was like, oh man, they're out of taquitas, and she's like, the fuck are you talking about? She's
What?
like, oh, you mean tatillas? And I was like, oh, I've been saying taquitas my whole life.
So
Off topic, but
no.
yeah.
That's like a very good point, right? Because it's like, but like for me, for example, I didn't know. How do I say this? To sweep it was a thing, right?
Like sweep.
To sweep, yes. I've always assumed people say that they broom, like you mop
Oh,
the floor,
yeah.
so you
Okay.
broom the floor.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me, right? But
Yeah.
I remember when I got my first job, I said, "Hey, I need a broom so I could broom the floor," and my boss at the time laughed so hard that I said that, and he grabbed the broom and he threw it on the floor, and he goes, there, I broomed it. I was like, oh, so that's not what's the word I'm looking for then? Because I assumed it was to broom. You know, like
Yeah.
people, you would throw a mop on the floor and be like, there, I mopped it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mopping is an action, so how come brooming isn't?
True. I mean, hey, that's a very good point.
So,
And
but I had grown up 16 years of my life saying that, so
yeah.
that's probably why. You know what I mean? It's like if
Yeah.
nobody corrects us, it's like that English.
It's also like a second generation immigrant, like issue. Like
Yeah,
you have like parents that have that like ethnic part that like isn't like I don't want to say isn't Americanized, but like there's just like some terminology that they don't know or that they haven't gotten used to. I remember very specifically my mom. We were at a PX in Virginia, and
okay.
we were like walking through, and then we just finished watching a spy movie or something, and then she was like, "Oh, like, you know, we're going under the cover," and then my dad and I looked at her, we're like, Under the cover? Un- you mean undercover?"
I was like,
And
what
we
does
were,
she mean?
yeah, we were laughing so hard for the longest time. But I mean, it's like there's just it makes sense because also like English is like one of the hardest like
Yeah,
words. There's so much slang. There's
so much like.
so many weird rules to English,
Yep.
and I mean, yeah. So I don't blame her, and I feel bad for laughing at her for that. But um, I can totally see that.
Madison edited our grocery list, and so it like popped up as a notification, and I was like, "What did I do? Did I delete something by accident or whatever?" But
What is she adding? Eggs.
I don't know. I didn't look. She just said she edited our grocery list. But apparently in my notes I had it here, right? That many Haitians view voodoo as culture, survival,
Spirituality. Fire.
and like a form of resistance, right?
Okay. Yeah.
From the oppressors.
Which is also that makes sense.
Yeah, and then the last thing I had was like Tonton Macoute or Papa Doc was François Duvalier, and then he has a long name. His full government is Milice de Voluntaires de la Sécurité Nationale,
Bam.
or was that the name for the Macoutes? I just wrote it down.
Well, so do you know if there's a difference? Because Papa Doc was a legend in like the New Orleans. Like, was he in America or was he in
He was
like
in Haiti.
Haiti? He was in Haiti, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've heard about that talked about in like voodoo,
I'm drowning.
like in
Go on.
in like Hollywood voodoo, right? Like, what's the show? American Horror Story Coven, or just like other movies and TV shows that have used voodoo, they show him, right?
Yeah.
But do you think is there like a big difference between like New Orleans voodoo and Haiti voodoo?
No, I
Like
think Haiti.
Haitian voodoo?
I think Haitian and the New Orleans are both like Cajun or Creole.
Uh-huh.
Creole, I guess, however people say it. And because they both have similarities, they probably both share the same folklore, right? Because New Orleans also has like their own tales of Lougaroos.
Right.
You know what I mean? They probably spell it differently, but it's the same tale of a Lougarou. So they're probably like, and Haiti and Louisiana are so close together that like you'll find a lot of Haitians in Louisiana and New Orleans area.
Right.
So like just traversing through that like bayou, probably enough to be like.
Maybe we should take a trip to New Orleans.
I could do that.
You would do that?
New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you pointing up to?
I didn't think you were gonna say anything else. I thought you were gonna say take a trip down to the bayou, and I was gonna have a problem with you. Yeah, you know.
No, I mean I do want to go. Like I've been to New Orleans once.
Sometimes I feel like you don't care about your life. You know, like you don't have kids yet. You know, I know that, but like, do you not have anything else to live for? You know.
I mean, I do. It's just I guess I'm just like Eminem. I'm not afraid.
Until you have kids. I feel like maybe before we go down and do like all this rabbit hole stuff, pop out a baby.
You want me to have a kid?
Yeah, have one.
Hey, my dog is one of my kids. I care about my dog
to an extent, because if you cared about your dog, you're gonna be like, let's go to the bayou.
Well, the thing is, like, if I die, Andy can take care of her dog. You know.
Exactly. But who's gonna teach your kid the stuff that you would be able to teach them as a father?
Andy. She could be a father and a mother. What are you discriminating on my girlfriend?
Oh, you're right. My bad. I apologize, Gene. You got it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you got it. I apologize. I didn't even think, before I spoke, and I just spoke my butt. I apologize, sir. Yep. You got it.
No, but I mean, like, I think it'd be really cool if we were to go and talk to, like
do a little field trip.
Yeah,
like
field trip.
To the locals.
Go to like New Orleans, talk to the locals. Maybe find someone who practices voodoo.
No. But go on.
What if it's a white person that
you can find
voodoo?
So what happens is I don't want to go to a location and be like, hey, do you practice voodoo? And they're like, yeah, let me show you. And they're like, blow a curse in my face. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if they do, you need to take full brunt of that curse.
Okay. So I guess the format we would do is we talk to locals, we figure out everything. I talk to the voodoo, like priestess.
Uh-huh.
What would they call that? Like,
I would
is
call
it just
that?
Priests? Yeah.
Full of voodoo.
So I would talk to them, interview them, see what the lowdown is, and then we reconvene at a common place in New Orleans.
Yeah.
That's fire.
A local place. Maybe down a dark alley so I can see if you are followed.
Yeah. We'll go back to the airport.
Meet me at the airport, sit down next to me, we'll just chit chat, and then we leave, and then don't reconvene and then we're taking 2 different planes.
Yeah.
I will not fly on the same plane with you. Okay.
That's fair. Yeah.
Maybe after the first location, we can fly on the same plane.
Yeah.
But before that, we were taking 2 separate planes. I will leave. 24 hours later, you could leave. Fair?
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't want somebody to curse me and my family. You know what I mean?
Imagine
if they... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, if they, like, you know how they like, I put a curse on you and your family?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They'd be like, I put a curse on you, your family, and your friends. I'd be like, ah! I'm like, no, we're not friends. I barely know the guy.
That was a perfect Michael Jackson scream right there.
What was that? Oh,
yeah. It's the feeling now.
Yeah.
I I was gonna say that I feel like during this episode I've just said all the creepy places I want to go and take this podcast on the go.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I think it's because it's a cool form. I've seen like I don't know if I've necessarily seen like podcasts go to the places like that, but I've watched a lot of like videos where they go to creepy locations and they like ghost hunt or they
Yeah, I'm willing to go with you to the location, not to the location.
it's like
So
surrounding
I'd go to
area.
the location of the location. So like if you wanted to go hunt Wendigos, I'd go with you to the Alps, right? But that's as far as I'll go.
You will actually go to the. I see what you
No, I'm
mean.
not gonna. I'm
So,
not gonna.
but the penitentiary, you're chilling.
Yeah, I'm chilling in the penitentiary. I've been there before. It's a museum.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's not like it's or desecrating the dead or anything like that.
yeah.
So it's definitely something I could do.
Have you ever? So this is another thing off topic, but have you heard about the Chop Chop House in Boise?
No.
So long story short, it was like a guy who killed another person in his house, and him and one other person chopped them up in his basement.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they like took him and scattered him all throughout areas in Boise, like the rivers and stuff like that.
Is that Richard guy? Like
I can't
the
remember his name
shoot.
because it was
I texted it to you. Like when we were talking about.
no,
Like,
it wasn't that guy. No. What was his name? Daniel Rogers and Darren Cox. That's who it was. I was gonna say I want to go to the front of that house and check it out too. There's only one person that died there, supposedly. Sorry. There's multiple people that said that they died there, but it was before it was the Chop Chop House, and it was like natural causes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe it wasn't so natural then.
it was before this guy was chopped though. I don't know. Just ideas, I guess, of places we can check out because we live in. I mean, specifically in Boise is a very like historical town. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of like old things there and a lot of old buildings that can't be touched because of the historical like
Value of it.
significance.
Yeah.
So that's just other things to think about.
Okay. What do you think about it?
Do you think there are any people that practice voodoo in Boise?
No.
You don't think so?
No, because why would you come to Boise? You know what I mean? You want to be very in a touristy area, you know what I mean? Or down in the swamps, you know what I mean? So, like,
I feel like Boise.
all in
Oh,
the
I guess
South,
maybe like downtown Boise itself would be but
yeah. But, like, that's not big enough, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Maybe there is probably, like, one Papa Doc. Like, I'm just imagining, like, a guy in a purple suit with, like, a snake cane. Just be
Yeah.
like,
I mean, you ever been to Voodoo Cellar?
Huh?
Downtown Boise Voodoo Cellar?
Oh, yeah, I have,
Yeah.
actually.
There's Voodoo Cellar, there's Voodoo Brewing.
Yeah,
There's two Voodoo Brewing places, and then the Voodoo Cellar is in downtown Boise.
Yeah, I do remember those places.
You don't know. Maybe they've been successful. They have 3 locations. You don't know.
This is true.
Being transparent.
Maybe, though, like all the people in office are practicing voodoo.
Like Brad Little?
Yeah, that's probably why they're stuck in office.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And how they manage to win every year. Because they're just regular people who talked well enough for people to be like, I like the way he talks.
True.
You know what I mean? And the next thing, that's how voodoo comes into play. So.
That's the other thing I was going to say is that I've seen videos of like people claiming to be like voodoo priests, whatever, and they're white people.
I don't think anybody would claim to be a voodoo priest or priestess. They would just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like the claiming of it is where like you become a sham.
It's like performative.
Yeah. You watch that one anime. It's with like aliens and demons. The one that is very raunchy. Not
like fan servicey.
No, it's not fan servicey. It was the one.
Is it about aliens and demons?
Aliens and demons. Aliens and spirits. I can picture it.
Talking about Don Don?
Don.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only seen bits of it.
Yeah. I won't watch it for like my own like little personal issue.
Yeah.
With the show. But I remember when I was watching the first episode, There was, I think, this part where the grandma gets on TV and this guy is basically like, "Can you guess this stuff about me if you are an exorcist or whatever like that?" And
Uh-huh.
then she basically like calls out his age, tells him his real name, all this stuff, and he's
Uh-huh.
all like, "Oh yeah, you're a sham. These were all lies, yada yada yada." And then the very next day, everything turned out that she said was true.
Uh-huh.
Right? It got me thinking that that's how people conduct themselves when it comes to voodoo. Like if you ask somebody who practices voodoo all this stuff, they will just tell you all of that stuff,
Uh-huh.
right? But they wouldn't go online and then like boast like, I do this, I do that, I'm the voodoo master of
I see.
Boise, Idaho. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
once you start doing all that, you're just asking for attention. And I don't know anybody
Yeah.
who's gonna be practicing magic and then begging for attention.
Yeah. Cuz that's what I mean in one of the videos I saw, there was like a quote unquote like voodoo queen, right? And it was a white woman, which is like, whatever, but I'm like I just don't know how much I could believe that. Let me see if I can find it because it's like and it was in New Orleans too.
I don't know. I want to subject white people can do evil too. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to think of her. Cuz there's like the classic like Marie Laveau, like her
Nope.
from New Orleans. She was like the quote unquote queen of New Orleans voodoo,
Oh.
but I don't know. I feel like maybe it was a BuzzFeed video. I don't remember. I'll have to look into that.
Anyways, I think that's a good part to wrap up this week's episode. Wow, that is a podcast. This is episode number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
Yeah,
are you feeling so far?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like it's hot as fuck in here.
Yeah, I
But
agree. I need to find that AC thing so I can, get some quality of life updates in this
but
garage.
I feel pretty good. I think the last episode well, I think just in general it's a good like mix of just like hearing about something and just having a conversation about something,
Yeah.
because there was a the first episode we recorded that
The
I think
very first
we're
one.
gonna scrap,
Yeah.
that I feel like was just too much of me reading off of my iPad.
Too much
And
script, not
yeah,
enough
and like
conversation.
there's some cool information in it, but maybe we'll recover that that
Another day.
specific cryptid another time. But I think I like the format of just being able to talk back and forth about something, like in our last one with the Wendigo and Skinwalker.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I really brought too much information about them, but
We had a
we
conversation.
had a conversation about like situations with them too, because it's like I wouldn't have normally thought about that. I think of like, would I could I kill a Skinwalker?
And you think you could?
I think I could.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You think you could kill one of the
Do I think
Tonton
I could
Macoutes?
kill a Tonton Macoute? Yeah.
I just told you how unkillable they were, and you're like, yeah, I got it.
Well, like I said, it could be mass hysteria.
It is mass hysteria, not could be. It is. I'm
So
worried. I'm gonna have Madison text Andy and ask her to not only to pray for you, but but to make sure that you go get your mental health checked in, because you are saying some wild things to me.
so you don't think you would survive the Tonton Macoutes?
Oh no, hell no. Like if there were 6 regular people,
Yeah.
fuck no.
So if one of them came and kidnapped, one of your kids, you would just be like, whatever.
Oh, what am I? I'm not John Wick. You know what I mean? As much as I would love to be like, I'm a fight for my daughter. I'm a t-shirt too. you know, I'm gonna be honest. You know what I mean? Like, I go over there. Let's say I go over there. I stop this guy from doing it.
Mm-hmm.
6 other dudes come out, jump me.
Yeah.
Now I'm making my daughter's death worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not, but at the same time, I'm not. That's not to say that I'm gonna sit back and just watch it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, I would give my life fighting for my kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would give my life fighting for my kids.
But you'd be smart about it. Like you would try and figure out like.
No, I'd probably be dumb about it too. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna react.
Yeah.
How I'd react. So if I saw someone snatch my kid off the streets, I'm gonna run after them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like probably hop in my car, like push them off the edge. Do my thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I'm going into that situation knowing I'm going to die. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going in there and being like, I'm gonna come out alive. I'm going in there and be like, I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna take out as many out of you as I can.
I see. Yeah.
You know?
So I guess that goes back to the question of, I know that we said we were going to wrap this up, but we were talking about how I was like, oh, or you were like, oh, you'll figure it out when you have kids. Like, you have nothing to live for, right? So say that a creature kills all your family. Are you gonna try and kill that creature?
Oh, for sure. I'm hunting that creature. That's my life's mission.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like John Winchester, right?
Yeah.
Where the demon killed his wife.
Yeah.
And then he just became a demon hunter.
Yeah.
And that's what he was known for. That's what it'd be. I'd be known as the Wendigo hunter. That's it. That's all I slaughter. Just Wendigos. You know what I mean? I learned like Goblin Slayer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how he was an S rank, you know, adventurer, and all he knew how to do like was kill goblins. You know what I mean? And that's what he made all his currency from. That'd be me.
Okay.
Slaughtering goblins, but except in this case, slaughtering Wendigos, no matter what.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd give up my entire life, sell all my houses, give up all my money, all that stuff, and I just go town to town killing Wendigos.
Yeah.
You know?
That's fire.
That's what I do. But
not that I wish that upon your family, but
yeah,
it's fire.
I appreciate it. Don't do that. You know? But that's gonna wrap up today's episode. This week's episode. This is the last episode of the week, right? And then now the plan is to post, I think, ideally every Monday.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I think that it'd be pretty. It would be sustainable to do
every Monday. Least get a video out every Monday. So we'll see you guys every Monday. If you did like this video, please. If you enjoyed watching this podcast or listening to this podcast, however you view it, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. Macoute in the chat. How do you spell that? How do you spell Macoute? Macoute?
No, UTE.
What'd I say?
OTE. It's UTE, right? Macoute.
Macoute. Yeah.
Oh, it's like OUTE.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
COUTE. No, maybe that's type in Gunny Sack. type in Uncle Gunny Sack in the chat. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Peace. Why was that one the only one that was on time?